Hello, 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 and welcome. Happy Equinox Libra season. I was not going to come on here today. I was promised myself I was going to give myself a little bit of a break. And then the energy shifted for me and felt like coming on and just getting a read on this energy and maybe speaking some truth. It's fun to do. It doesn't seem to matter much now anyway, because I've been shadow banned on pretty much all social media platforms, which just basically means that I'm not getting the circulation or coverage that I once did because of some of the content and the things that I speak about. And yeah, I know a lot of this stuff is driven by AI and algorithms, but who's behind that? Who's programming that, So I want to talk about that. Hello, good afternoon, Lisa. I want to talk about that. And I wrote down a couple things that I wanted to talk about, but more so, hello, Steph. Good afternoon. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I want to get a feeling. I want to get a read on this, on the energy. Because I feel a profound shift. I have been for a while. And, but I'm starting to actually see the changes in my life experience. And I did yesterday an amazing event in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, near where I live. There were over 800, close to 1,000 people attending that were all dressed up as Helen Roper with the red wigs and the caftans, and it was incredible. I did 24 mini readings that yesterday. So yeah, taken today to kind of wind down from all that energy, but it was good. It was really good. Woke up this morning feeling really amazing. Tired, but amazing. It was really fun. It was really fun. I mean, I didn't get to participate very much because I was doing all the readings, but even then, I got to meet so many amazing people. And a lot of the readings were, not all of them, but had a very similar theme. So I'm curious to see if that's what's going to come through again for us all. How are you guys doing? I also want to hear from you. How you doing? What's been going on? It was a great time. It's so unique. It's such a unique thing to attend, but to see hundreds, 1,000 people all smiling and having a great time. And it truly was just pure, innocent fun. That just like lit my heart up, It was today is a beautiful day. Yes, absolutely. Hello, hello. Thank you. So happy Equinox to everybody and happy Libra season. Are you feeling like you're experiencing more of a balance? I know that we're just kind of moving into this energy, but it has been eye-opening lately. Yeah, for sure. You have a great day as well. Thank you. So I wrote down a couple things just briefly, talking about some of the things that I'm starting to really recognize open up. And, I've been talking about what's been called the Mandela effect and how I really see it as the true deception that's been going on behind the scenes all along is at full force right now. And what is happening, where it used to cause a lot of confusion and anger, is actually backfiring on the powers that be, whoever it is, this energy, this cluster of energy that is really trying to deceive us. People are more conscious now, more awake. Hello, Darren. Feeling more balanced. Good, good. Feeling really good at the moment, says Steph. A few aches and pains and ringing in the, oh yeah, the ringing in the ear. I've been having a lot of that too. Or throbbing eardrum, but overall good. I actually just got that right before I came on. I had that. It went to a high pitch and then it was like the womp, 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 a weird, you can feel it in the ear. So there's a lot of frequencies flying through the airwaves that we are absorbing and processing, and that can certainly take a toll on the body for sure. We're definitely in an energetic upgrade frequency wise. A lot of people that I've been speaking to are having flare ups if they have been suffering from like autoimmune diseases or other things like that. So it is like a flush out of the system for us all. And so drink lots of water, take good care of yourself, slow down. I know that I've been getting the messages to slow down, slow down. And actually my nervous system finally has hit a complete and utter balance where I trust that I can slow down when I need to, and that flowing with, you know, how the body is speaking to me is actually working in my benefit. So, oh, interesting. I just got a huge wave in the back of my head all of a sudden. So we're going to get into some readings here. I'm not going to, I did write down, there's two things that I didn't mention. The asteroid that they're talking about, an asteroid coming closer to Earth, which will cause an effect that seems like we have two moons. Very interesting, don't you think? What's even more interesting is that they're now trying to say that this happened before in the 80s. And do you guys recall ever seeing two moons in the sky? I certainly don't. And I'm a sky watcher my whole life. My whole life. I notice what is going on in the sky. So many other people are kind of trying to push back on this, like, no, you can't tell us that this happened before. Again, what I'm talking about with the Mandela effect, it's kind of like a gaslighting. It's making us seem like we don't remember our past, that we're a little crazy, that we don't, or we're not recalling things correctly. Don't fall for it. Yeah, no, exactly, exactly. Don't fall for it, because this will be a bigger and bigger thing as we move on, as the light frequency continues to elevate on the planet. The dark forces, the trickster energy, the deceptive energy is going to go full force. And you know what's going to happen? They're actually going to, it's going to backfire on them. It's already is, because so many people are becoming much more aware and conscious of this as AI begins to take over more and more and more. And I'm not saying positive or negatively about AI. It is what it is. It is here to stay. It is definitely that. But we have duality within that. Hello, Jess. Hello, Jess O says, hello, still working on feeling balanced. There's always seems to be a lot going on, never ending battle. It will come to more of a balance. A lot of times also, depending, you know, when we engage with the chaos or become focused or hyper focused on it, we get pulled into that energy and we begin to absorb the chaotic energies. So if you can pull back, again, spend some time just sort of focusing, even just focusing on the breath for a few minutes, kind of recalibrate. We need to do that from time to time for sure, because there's a lot of energies that are trying to catch us off guard, you know? Steph says, new rule, if it's coming from your TV, don't listen. Trust your inner self. You will never be let down. Exactly. Yes. Lisa says, I'm looking forward to these beautiful changes in the sky. Yeah. Today is a beautiful day here where I live. And actually, after I'm done doing this, I'm going to spend some time outside. But yeah, there's just, there's a lot that's changing. And on the positive side, we are getting an energetic upgrade. And we can really start to trust that. I feel like many of us are beginning to really trust our inner selves, our inner knowing, because what's being shown to us on the outside is so obviously deceptive. Oh, you're in your hammock. That's where I'm going to head after this. So one other thing, and this kind of pertains to not just my generation, but the area that I live in. But it was brought to my attention a few days ago that there's a big push to reopen. Do any of you guys recall, and I don't know what, generation you're in, but do you recall 3 Mile Island? Back in the day, there was a big scare. I remember I was probably in kindergarten or first grade, maybe second grade at best. And I got pulled out of school. My parents came and pulled me and my cousins out of school and drove us to my grandmother's house at the beach to get as far away from 3 Mile Island as possible because there was this meltdown threat. Yes, there was a documentary on it. Yeah. So I was evacuated during that time. I was just a child. I don't remember a whole lot other than I got to leave school. But there's a big push to reopening it. You want to know why? They're saying that it's because the AI is sucking up so much energy that they need these extra nuclear power plants open. So we'll see how far that goes. But again, I feel that there's a lot of tactics that are really trying to generate fear. And the reason why this is done is so that when the fear is generated, then there's these rescuers that come in on the TV stuff and say, but trust us, we have everything under control and just follow what we say to do. Sort of like when we had the pandemic, right? But this time around, I feel like the trust us factor for a good bit of the collective is changing. We are finding balance there, equinox between light and dark, right? Oh my God, there is a crazy documentary on 3 Mile Island, so scary. It is, but don't let it scare you. This is a tactic right now, and it hasn't happened yet. I haven't watched TV in many years myself, so but I do get the news because people tell me, and it is out there. Like, we can't really escape from all of it. And I don't want to be ignorant to what is happening. I want to be aware of what they're putting out there for everybody. I don't fall for it, but I want to know, like, what is the general population being exposed to? And it's a lot. It's so much. With that said, I feel like I'm going to start to pull some cards here for us all. Because that's what I do. So, no fear. It is a tactic. If you really think about it hard. I mean, a lot of the attempts to bring us back into fear or a certain narrative are already backfiring big time. Such as, and it's hard because, again, I get shadow banned from all platforms for speaking truth. So I have to be a wordsmith here. I have to be a big wordsmith when it comes to speaking truth online, you know? Otherwise, my content just gets pushed away to the back burner, just like many others. We're also working with a lot of other healers and psychics and mediums right now. Every time we're trying to put the events together, it's these programs that we need to use to generate tickets, and there's no option for psychic. There's no option for, it's like they want us gone. Whoever they is, these entities do not want people like me um, in operation, and we're just not going to stop. We're not going to let it stop us at this point. We just find our ways around it. It's entertaining to watch lie to your face. I just listened to and I hear, yeah. I've gotten to the point, even with the Mandela effect, which I just look at it as deception. It used to piss me off, but now I'm just like, this so is going to wake the collective up even more, actually. The light, you cannot stop it. And they're going to try. They're pulling out all the stops to try, and it just will not work. It's not working. So that's the entertainment. Yes, for sure. What is the message for us all? There are plenty of other people that are just like me. Yes, Jess, and they're not going to be able to. They can try, they can squeeze our content and stop circulation, but those like you're going to get your notifications, and if you don't, you're going to check anyway, because you're going to know that I'm constantly being blocked. And I'm so used to it now. It's like, whatever, it's not going to stop me. It worked for a little bit. I sort of backed down and was like, well, why put my time and energy onto something that just gets blocked all the time? But no, I've had a big, hard lesson in that recently about not quitting and not giving up when it gets difficult and when I get blocked. So, because when I had another experience with an actual physical, not computers and not platforms, and it showed me a part of myself that just was like, forget it, I quit, and I just walk away. And they're like, no, Paige, this is not the way we want you to operate. That's right, Darren. The more they do it, the worse it gets for them. Yep. And I'm not going anywhere. If anything, it's actually fueling the fire within now. So while I say that, I see there's 3 likes on here. So let's keep the algorithm up. There's 12 people in the house right now. Can you give me a thumbs up, please? If you don't mind, I would appreciate that. We're going to beat this system one way or the other. And I don't know if it has to do with likes or subscribes or whatever, but it's energy, right? It's energy. And so as long as I continue to keep my energy positive, lighthearted, and no fear, we have teaching as the first card. Darren says, you're an earth angel. Thank you. I should have quit 100 times and I'm still here. That's right. Sometimes we learn a lesson that way. There's always a pull. We're repelled and then we're pulled back to things, to truth. Teaching. I feel like a lot of this duality, polarity, is teaching us a lot about ourselves. And what's really important here, overall, I slept in, but I spent this morning listening to Dr. Gabor Mate, an interview with him. It was like a 2-hour long, it was amazing. And I think it was called The Link Between, it's something like being nice and illness. And it basically is like breaking down like how we as children are conditioned and programmed to listen, not say no because we get punished and all that stuff. So when we grow up to be older, a lot of, especially women, have a hard time saying no or feel like they have to take care of everybody else and don't take care of their own needs, and start to begin to develop autoimmune disease and other things because it's suppressed energy. So anytime we suppress our true feelings or true nature, it takes a hit on the body. And what he was saying, it made so much sense. The term, it's my second nature. Well, our second nature is more of a survival. The first nature is something innately, because we're born with our first nature in the gut. the gut instinct. Second nature is basically what we've taught ourselves or what we've been taught to do, to keep us from getting in trouble or keep us from pain or keep us from being ostracized or whatever as children. It's really fascinating. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, he is an incredible, he was a physician. He's written many books, and he speaks very honestly and openly about his own process and his setbacks and his still learning. But just an amazing speaker and teacher. So speaking of teachers, we have teaching. Are we reading this from the book? All right, so this card here is speaking about, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just was speed read through all of this. The message is that we are each other's teacher and student, and we are all students of life. And when we can really understand, not just understand, but integrate and embody the lessons, basically what we need to unlearn and remove from our psyche, from our mindset, from our belief systems, and really drop more into our true authenticity, we then are, it flips. We're no longer student, and then we begin to be the change, be the inspiration, or the teacher for others. And what's really, we want to prevent what's going on now from happening in the future. We really want to start to teach young parents and help teachers, help physicians, help clinicians understand the deeply the importance of the mind body connection, because everything is still like very categorized and boxed, and they are not, at least in the Western culture, are not still connecting the two. Even though there's an awareness there, the practice is not there yet. So we can teach ourselves, we can learn about ourselves, and that is important because we want to empower ourselves. I don't know what's coming down the pipeline. However, I think we can all sense and sort of get that that sneak preview, so to speak, of what, I mean, we're already getting a good view of what the powers that be, or were, or however you want to say it, the control, fear tactics, energies, we'll just call them energies, entities that do operate through people, through certain people. What they're trying to do again is like it's like fishing. It's like a net, and they like scoop us up into this fear-based tactic, so that we are easily controlled. You're easily controlled when you're under fear, and we're vulnerable. All human beings on this planet, all mammals, all living things are vulnerable. And we got to stop pretending that we're not. We got to stop pretending that we're so hard and tough and strong. We need to really soften up and open up our compassionate side towards each other, towards ourselves even. Lisa says it's so true. They are our future, and they need to be nurtured. Absolutely. Absolutely. The way that we were even taught in our generations, or, you know, because it gets passed down from generation to generation, and eventually we have to stop and create a new way, a new system. And that's with allowing. I mean, there's a reason why babies cry. There's a reason. I mean, we're born expressing our needs. We are born very vulnerable, especially the human being. We're the only mammal born on this planet that needs to be nurtured and taken care of. We're not born like able to walk and provide for ourselves like some animals are right off the bat. They still need to nurse from the mother, but human beings need touch, need nurturance, need love and care and guidance and support. And many of us just didn't get exactly what we needed. And we're not putting any fault on it now, but we can give it to ourselves and we can teach, we can stop that chain effect from continuing on in the future. My teachers taught through fear. Most of us were taught through fear. Yeah. And, to a degree, you can argue it's for your safety, like don't touch that hot burner or you'll get burned. But at the same token, there's just so many tactics that were unnecessary. We were taught to not speak, speak for our needs, and even punished for that. And that has a ripple effect. It continues in adulthood as our own insecurities, our fears, our patterns, attachment styles, all of that stuff. Hello, Chaley. Jess, we rescued 2 baby squirrels today. Aw, they fell from a tree and mom was nowhere to be found. We reached out to nonprofit shelter and thankfully they were able to take them in. Oh, that's so nice. That's so cute. It was crushing to me. I know. That happened when I was a kid. We rescued a baby squirrel that fell from the tree and my cat was trying to get it. And my mom let us keep it for about a week or maybe a couple weeks because as it grew, and started to run around the house, it was like ripping up our curtains and stuff. And she's like, we need to go to the Humane League and ask them for help. Oh, well, I'm glad that you were able to rescue them. Ooh, I just got a rush of heat. And it's not hot here at all. So pay attention to how energy runs through your body right now. It's crazy. And the funniest thing, it's not funny, but I was around like thousands of people yesterday and I did back-to-back nonstop readings for 6 hours straight. And it was great. I'm in a zone when I'm doing that. And I stayed very hydrated, but I noticed right away, my lips started burning. And it's not sunburn, it's not windburn. This happens sometimes when I'm really running a lot of energy through my body. And for some reason, my lips dry out, even though I'm constantly like trying to support them. I woke up this morning, like it felt like I had extremely, and you can see they're like red. This just is how my body reacts to being around a lot of stimulus and working in a lot, like a crowd of energy. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is what it is. It's really interesting. Do you know how difficult it is to start up a nonprofit to help people? I do. I do. Actually, the day retreat that I work out of, Solace Farms, is still not a nonprofit, even though it should be. But the banks would not give a loan for nonprofit. So we got to jump through different hoops to get grants and help and stuff like that. I'll tell you the trick, and it's probably not going to help. Well, it might help. And it took a group of us to recognize this, but when we stopped stressing so much about it and focusing in on the unfairness and injustice of how things are set up and are working, and really started to tap into more of the spiritual realms and universal forces, things started opening up in areas that we could have never thought of ourselves. So it's almost like relax back, trust, because there has been so much guidance to each step. It's a work in progress still, but it's actually been opening up more and more and more. And the way that the help comes in is like something that we could never predict. So it's a daily practice to just be grateful for where we're at now and trust that I'm going to follow the energy and the opportunities and the breadcrumbs. Sometimes it's breadcrumbs, sometimes it's blatantly obvious of like the right person to talk to, the right place to go to, the right things kind of start to, and this isn't like sit back and it all come to you, although sometimes that happens, but not often. Sit back sometimes to calm the energy field, calm the nervous system. The downloads come, the insight, and now working with three other intuitives very strongly on with a common mission and a common goal, we're each getting similar dreams, visions, downloads, and we then communicate about them and formulate the next step plan from that. So it is a team effort. It helps a lot. But let's see here. Yes, yes. You guys are saying yes, yes. And where exactly is this help or this money that said companies use to help those who need it? Right, I know. I do really well as far as not getting stressed out or anxious. So yeah, if you're, and I don't want to words, right? When we're operating in the old way or the way that everybody else does from the old program, it's not going to work most likely. But if it does, it's going to be stressful and you're going to feel like you're going backwards. Um, but if it's something that you've already had sent to you as a download, as a message, it's in your heart, it's a passion, it's a fire, it's like, this is going to happen. uh, Other avenues are going to open up. They do. They really do. Because they hate greedy thieves who need to learn. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Auto connect on that one. Yes, yes, yes. I'm sorry you're going through that frustration. I'm very familiar with that. Spent a couple years in that realm until I realized like, oh, I actually don't have a whole lot of control over this, and I've tried all of the tactics that I used to use of making things happen, and nope, it actually would backfire. And so I didn't quit, though, didn't give up, but would ask for um, help, guidance, support. And eventually it started, and it's timing too. Some things open up in divine timing as well. And in hindsight, I see now why it is a good thing that they didn't even open up for me even last year, because there was still a lot of things that I needed to become more comfortable with within myself and understand, and lessons that I had to learn. Something needs to be done about the people who are homeless. Absolutely. That is atrocious. It really is. It really is. It's a problem. Okay. All right. So teaching. And I will say, I've certainly been receiving a lot of teachings, a lot of learning. The other thing I've noticed, and I've been talking about this recently, is ever since September 1st or 2nd, around then, when I received this giant rush of gratitude for everything, it stayed with me. And then there were a lot of things that like came undone, and there was a lot of drama and a lot of chaos. Not necessarily that affected me personally, but I was like the outer ring of the ripple effect of how it affected me in a positive way, actually. I've had this deep calmness, this deep sense of inner peace and calm that not constant. I have never had this stay with me this long. And it is it's extremely helpful and extremely beneficial to kind of the opening up of the gates of opportunity for me, if that makes sense, you know. Yeah, I don't know what that wave of energy was. It was preparing me for like a tower moment that wasn't quite mine, but I was a part of it. And I'm grateful for that too. And it opened up some areas of deception that were geared towards me, where the old me would have been angry, maybe a little bitter and resentful. But the me now, the higher self, or whatever I'm connected to, the higher self, is more like, huh, like in awe, like, wow, that was happening all along. I knew it, but now it's actually confirmed. And now all of a sudden, all of this is opened up. I can't go into details. I wish I could, but I can't. So maybe some of you are having that same kind of experience. We have prosperity begins, crown chakra, financial, material changes, and choose wisely. Oh, yeah. So this is another wave of energy that we're working with here. And I'm not saying that it is a trick, but there are tests within the path to an opening, a new beginning. Prosperity begins. Doesn't necessarily have to mean money, can be, or an opportunity for growth, financial growth, material growth, and some. Basically, look at the card. A seed has been planted. It's been planted a while ago, and it is sprouted, it is growing, it is actually coming to fruition here in this card. Prosperity begins. Opportunities opening up. And it feels amazing. It feels right. It is good. And it is. It is. But you want to stay connected. You want to stay connected to the spiritual realms, to source energy through this part of the journey, and not let the monkey mind, not let the fear, not let any of that get in the way, because there are a lot of trickster energies on this part of the path. Being very discerning, feel your way through this time, please. Darren saying, happened to me the other day too, but I didn't feed it. Took a while for me to find that calm. Whatever this is, it could be a fast track for some. I'm feeling it as a fast track. Whatever it is changing the material playing field and financial for some, or both. So it is a big transformation. It's a big change. It's something that we are already aware of. We put it out there. And now it's almost like, is this actually happening? It seems too good to be true. It's not too good to be true, but there are going to be many different avenues to choose from. And it is up to us to choose wisely, to follow the gut. What does the gut say? Not the head, and not from your past. This is It's very important that we follow our gut, our intuition, and stay connected. Crown chakra. Don't waver, because, I mean, if you choose another way, you're going to learn. But remember this message. Just remember this message, because they can all seem very shiny and bright and like, come here. I'm your path. I'm the way. And it could be a person, it can be an opportunity, it can be whatever it is for you. Choose wisely. Okay. There are a lot of slippery, sneaky energies in this eclipse season. And we're coming into the solar eclipse. All right. The new moon solar eclipse in Libra. New opportunities. So we're already getting some sneak previews. Some of us are getting like big foreshadowing. Others are like, have no idea, but all of a sudden, bam, it's in your face and you're like, what is this? What are you saying? I manifest it daily. I currently have no power. Oh no, hot water. You still have food. Oh, good. Yeah. Well, yeah, there are times we go through these big upheavals, and it tests our faith. It does. Follow your gut, Darren. The gut instinct. The gut, or the solar plexus, is directly linked to the brain. The heart can be swayed, right? Our heart, you know the term like pulling on the heartstrings, that kind of stuff. Our heart can be swayed. And not to say don't follow the heart. Of course, follow the heart, but the gut instinct is telling you the truth. It is our primordial instinct we're born with. And that is what we want to follow, especially in this energy. Yes, Shelly, I hope your power comes back on soon too. I hope that, I'm glad that you have food and water. And that usually when we get those kinds of tests, and it could be, we're still wrapping up ancestral karma too, which is confusing sometimes. It's not fun sometimes, but when you're aware, like, whatever I'm going through, it kind of feels familiar. It feels like maybe my parents had, I recognized the other night that a period of my life, something that I had experienced it was a little bit of a reflection of my father, but not so much. But it was more of a reflection or an experience that my father had when he was my grandfather. So it skipped a generation to a degree of intensity anyway. And I'm talking about like narcissistic abuse, alcoholism, and those kinds of abusive situations. And I didn't have that with my dad, only because he and my mom got divorced when I was 9 or 10, and I didn't see him very often. But I know what my dad went through. He never talked about it, but my mom recently told me about it. And I'm like, it makes sense. The intensity of it skipped a generation. I was blessed to not have that. But then later on in life, I came across 2 relationships that started out really beautiful, warm and fuzzy, and ended up being very abusive on the narcissistic end anyway. So anyway, I recognize, I'm like, wow, that skipped a whole generation, the intensity of it. So sometimes it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but just know we are clearing ancestral karma. And not to make it, there's no right or wrong, good or bad there, but just to understand that I got through it with grace, but with more wisdom, and my heart open more to myself and to others that go through the same types of experiences, compassion. It opened me up. A lot of times we get opened up through trauma and through really hard stuff, unfortunately. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Called headquarters for my power company, the company at the top of the chain, when they shut it off on Friday and wouldn't keep it on if I made a payment. They don't give notices anymore. Really? Oh, that sucks. I begged the technician, and the person on the phone at the office said she refused. So I called the corporate number for the parent of the parent company, and the woman was so amazing. I hope it gets worked out. Yes. I think most of us have been there at some point in our lives. Yep, that's what I was trying to get to. Hang in there. Definitely. Fingers crossed for tomorrow. The call with me to get it back on. They conveniently didn't get it done before the weekend. Oh, yeah. I have had those experiences. My son also, over the summer during a heat wave, when they bought their house, they had to have their power cut off for a whole week because of something on the power company's end. It's a long story, but yeah. And I said, tell them that you have a baby. That didn't matter either. So I know we're not being treated the way even we would have been 10 years ago by any of these companies anymore. So the compassion and the caring is hard to come by. Where do you live, by the way? What part of the world are you? Just curious. I still fix it. My neighbor is letting me. Oh, your neighbor's letting you run an extension cord from her place. That's awesome. Whew, support from your neighbors. Yes, exactly. I've gone through things like that before, and one of the lessons, because we are all being taught something, right, was because I was never comfortable or able to ask for help at all, ever. I now know why, but and some of it was pride, but most of it was childhood trauma. And I've found myself in many predicaments over the last 6 or 7 years of I had to, and it was really, really hard. You're in Utah, okay. And that was the lesson for me. I didn't realize it until after the fact, but then when I finally did ask for help, and it was actually very, like, overly well received, I was like, damn, why was that so hard for me, you know? True customer service is not the same as it used to be. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I don't want to say that collectively worldwide, but for the most part, I've been noticing that for sure. And I've been hearing some pretty terrible stories from others too. And there's always an open door, sometimes just harder to find than others. Yeah. Yep. Justice. First card out. Well. Equinox. There's Libra right there too. So we're in Libra season as of today. And we're at the equinox, where we have equal, light, and dark. The scales are about to tip. We'll see how long that takes, because time is not linear. So that's why I don't like to predict. I just get foreshadowing, and I know that when I get foreshadowing, I'm never off. I'm not here to toot my horn at all, but I'm never wrong, ever. Never have been. My mom used to be amazed. She's like, you can never argue with Paige because she's always right. And she wasn't like being sarcastic. She was like, and it's hard to do when you've got it. Like as a kid, even I would be like, no, it's this. And that's one of the things about me. It's like when I know, and I will not falter. I will not like be swayed one way or the other. And it's interesting because if any of you know human design, I have an open crown, which for many, it's open mind, yes, but you can also be, it's like a sponge. You can also be easily swayed by other people's opinions and thoughts and ideas and stuff like that. So Darren says, I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong, my friend used to say. Hello, Rakesh. And not to say that I'm never wrong, but when I have those strong gut instincts, the intuitive inner knowings, they're always spot on. The timing of them, it can be years. I'll get like an insight, a flash, a vision, and I know better now. I used to thought, I'm like, this is gonna happen, it's gonna happen soon. I had this, the whole thing, and like 3, 4, 5 years down the road is when it happened. So I stopped. I'm like, all right. I had to learn the hard way of how these intuitive senses work. And you know what? I'm still learning myself. So we have the Justice card. Bear with me while I remove some sneak energies trying to slip in here. Little slitheries. Justice card. All right. So the scales are coming to a balance. And we have to trust this with our inner knowing. Truly. And just because our ego mind likes to think it knows what is fair and just doesn't always mean that is accurate 100%. There are times that, always learn important lessons in a hard way. We all do, yes. And that's exactly what I was getting to. That's so interesting you said that, because we do have an interesting ways of learning, and they're not easy. It's not easy, but there's a resonance. When you get it, you get it. You're like, oh, I see. I know what you're showing me now. And it really helps us be in flow with life a little bit more. I have gut feelings. I get excited, then someone gaslights me, and I throw a tantrum and ruin it and do stupid things. I've been feeling a lot better about it the last few days. Thank you. Good. Yeah, I've been where you're at there, Darren, for many years, very strongly. And I think that's why I have such a soft spot in my heart for you, because I know what it's like. It's tough. It's hard. And you do feel like you're being teased and tormented and taunted by all of these people and life and things. But I've been very humbled by the universe, by life too. And it really put me in a new perspective that is much more calm and much more lighthearted. And I can actually really laugh. I can laugh at myself. I can laugh at, there are certain things that are not laughable, obviously. But for the most part, I can laugh at myself now, which is grace. And I think that the one thing that we should all strive for in life, which will help us get through all of the insanity, is inner peace. If you just put that out every morning, every night, please help me reach inner peace. You'll find it. It will rise. So whatever is about to begin or open up or manifest is of the Justice card. Fairness, balance, equality. And I can attest to that. What is opening up for me right now feels and appears to be way more imbalance than it was before. Things were not in balance, and I knew it. I felt it, I sensed it, and I wanted to run away from it. And this time I didn't. This time I stuck with it, but I kind of stepped back because I knew that there were others that had lessons to be learned, and I was not a part of that. I could have become part of the drama, but I chose not to. I didn't have to. And it's really important that I learned that lesson. I trusted my gut instinct and didn't run, but didn't get involved, and kind of just like, it'll open up when it's meant to. And bam, lo and behold, it did. Exactly as I saw in my vision, in my mind's eye. Hi, Dustin. Hello, hello. So let's see. The energy feels really good in here right now. I know I had to get rid of somebody, and that's okay. Oh, I just saw 1111 up there. Yeah, being the observer. And I know my name came up a few times, and there were people and energies that tried to pull me and get me involved. And I was like, no. Not my circus, not my show. Four of Swords. All right. So here's another message to, I think the message of the day is aim for inner peace and watch it all unfold. Watch the show begin to unfold. And pay attention. Pay attention to the teachings that are being gifted to us right now. Okay. Four of Swords. Rest your mind. Relax. It's important to know that we can't really quiet the mind. It's like a computer, and the more we try to stop that, the worse it gets. So that's why, in Buddhist traditions, the following the breath, these are helpful ways to just calm the nervous system. It starts to calm and quiet the mind. But if we're focusing on quieting the mind, it will not work. It will actually get louder and louder and louder because we're focusing on the mind won't stop. So it kind of is a backwards. So whatever works for you to get to a calm state of mind, so that we can hear, the messages, the downloads, the insights that we are receiving from the angelic realms, from the spirit realms, from source energy itself. Yes, I overthink a lot and try to control situations in my head. Yep, that's a human thing. It's a human thing, but we also innately do know. The funny thing is the ways that we can get out of this stress and trying to control situations, each and every one of us is different, but we were either punished or criticized or whatever for those very natural ways of being that we each use to calm ourselves down and get ourselves to a more peaceful state of being. So angel meditations, they are starting to work better for me. Good. Do you want me to stop thinking or carrying on? I'm going to keep going with this message. I'm not sure about that question. Obviously, we cannot stop thinking. That's a good point. We can't stop thinking unless you have a lobotomy. But there are ways that we can get ourselves out of the overthinking and the anxiety and the just nonstop loops that go on in our brain is like a recording system. It's recording every single experience, interaction that we have while we're alive on the planet. A lot of it gets stored in the subconscious, but it's a computer. That's really all it is. Our true navigational system, our true brain is in our gut. Truly. I mean, its research has proved it. So I'm not speaking gibberish here. So the more we can learn and train ourselves to follow how we feel and honor that instead of just what's going on in the thoughts. Because also recognizing that we are all, our computer have been programmed by the powers that wanted to control us. So we still have a lot of that stuff still stored in the subconscious. I had this conversation earlier today with somebody who's really coming out of her shell with mediumship and really speaking with other people's loved ones on the other side, and it's blowing her away. Right? She's seeing them and everything. And I said, you're going through a process. She goes, I have so much to learn. And I said, no, you have so much to unlearn. All this stuff is already innately natural in you. What was keeping you from trusting and actually connecting with these parts of you is the stuff that you're unlearning, unraveling from yourself, the programming, Yes, too many allow their brain to control them versus using it as a tool that it is. Yeah, because we were taught that. We were all taught that. Thinking mind, super ego working mind, computer thought, inspired ideas. I'm not really sure if I'm following my gut here. I'm going to put this in a timeout. So I don't know where it's going. It's not making a whole lot of sense. And sorry if you were being genuine and whole, but I got a gut feeling that was going somewhere. So anyway, let's continue. We have the Queen of Wands under financial and material changes. Well, here we go again. The Queen of Wands is very intuitive. Look at the black cat next to her, holding a sunflower. She only acts when she's divinely inspired, divinely guided. And she trusts whatever is happening, whatever's going on, whatever changes are going on, are meant to. It always is. It's always meant to. We actually think we have control over things. We try to control and we grasp and we try to. And if you've noticed recently with the energy shifts, the frequencies shifting, that don't work anymore. It may have worked. It might have. It does not. We don't really have control like we were taught, like we think we do. Not saying we have no control, but what we have control over is ourself, this vessel that we're in that is actually the most incredible machine ever designed. Nobody has the manual. Nobody has the full owner's manual of how it operates, but there are some good, some people who've written some pretty amazing books, channeled information. There are other people like myself who go through experience and learn that way of what works, what doesn't work, and what is telling you what in the body. So what this is saying is trust the changes that are happening. Sometimes it may feel like or seem very scary, or because we're not really given a whole lot of where this is going, like a whole lot of foresight into the future. But this whole message is all about following our intuition right now. It's very, very important. Overall message is the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is very much in alignment with her emotions, does not suppress anything, has a lot of compassion, and her heart is open. She's connected to the body of water at her feet, water representing our emotions. Her cup is full, and she's learned to regulate her emotions so that she actually is able to give of more of her compassion and heart and love without it affecting her. It doesn't take away from her. And I think that's the ultimate place of where we're all being taken right now. Most of us who have been very conscious and awake and aware for many years, it is about time that our reality, our experience shifts to the next level. We've just gone through some really, really tough experiences that are teaching us or unlearning what has been programmed into us. You know what I mean? There's another thing is the trolls are becoming more and more frantic because they stay in their self-created hell while we ascend, and it's getting harder and harder for them to reach us. Yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed that with a lot of it's really hard for me to describe exactly how I see these. And I know that a lot of this is acted out through people, but I don't really see human beings as being the problem. It's when we're not like, because we all are open, we're all vulnerable to any kind of energy getting in and infiltrating our mind, our perception, our emotions. And some people are way more susceptible than others if they have not um, done any inner work, if they're still struggling within, if they're in their own personal hell, if they're abusing drugs and alcohol is definitely a way for these energies and entities to get in. And so it's a lesson also. And I've been there. I've actually had some um, other energies take over me and way in my past, because I look back and I'm like, who was that? That was not me. And I remember everything feeling and seeming very dark and scary. And so what does that bring out in me back then? Protection. That don't mess with me. Don't, that another side of me that actually is not. I mean, it's an archetype, but it's not an archetype that I prefer to use. So, yeah, there's a lot of the dark energies, dark entities that are going as fast and as furious as they can to try to do whatever they can to stop us, to instill fear in us, to pull us off our path, and just to be aware of that. I think that's the big message here too is, and I'm going to pull an oracle because the message since I started here was use discernment, choose wisely, follow your gut, listen to your intuition. Don't suppress emotions, because when we suppress emotions, we become vulnerable and open to deception, right? Who did I pull from? Okay. I'm going to bring it into another layer of energy. We're going to go right back to native spirit. So I feel like I want to diffuse this energy. I'm not afraid of talking about dark energy at all, but I want to change it. I don't want to put the attention and focus on that because I don't want to give it any more space, time, energy. And Aaron says, I've quit all that, drinking loads of water. I've been reflecting on it. I can't remember much of it, to be honest, but I'm well aware of how I was behaving. Yeah, and that's how we learn, right? We get humbled by life and by ourselves. We all learn the hard way. All of us. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's part of the process for most of us. Oh, Darren, you're totally forgiven. Darren says, I apologize for some of the things I said here. You have been so good to me. Apology accepted. All right, let's change the energy here. Let's get a message from Native Spirit. First of all, for the equinox, let's turn it into a positive. We're coming into balance. New opportunities are opening for us. Stay connected to your higher self, to source energy, to the spiritual realms. Allow yourself to be open to receiving the downloads, the messages, the guidance, the direction, the healing necessary. Know that there are changes. There are material changes happening, like things just completely changing before your very eyes. Could be also financial. There's trickster energies out there that are just making sure that we're not falling back asleep, and we're using our internal navigational system to discern so we make wise choices for ourselves. Justice is here. Libra energy, equinox energy, balance. So take time to rest the mind, rest your worries, rest your anxieties, soothe yourself, give yourself that it's okay. It's okay to take a few minutes of downtime. It's okay to count and pay attention to your breath. It's actually needed. And Queen of Wands, again, know that you are magical. We are all very powerful. Why else would these other energies, entities, go to great lengths to try to control us? You know why? Because we are that powerful. The light, God, source energy is powerful. Nothing gonna stop it. Nothing. We have tracker. Tracker. All right. Focus your intent and your passion on one thing rather than being scattered in different directions. Be single-minded in what's truly important in your life and let everything else go. Track the unseen but very real stream of energy to that which you desire. Your native spirit wants you to know trackers have the ability to be so focused that everything but their goal disappears. What you see around you is the result of what you focus on. When you direct your thoughts towards good, you attract positive experiences and people into your life. But when you focus on what isn't working, you create even more challenging situations. If you aren't pleased with the direction of your life, concentrate on what you desire, not on what you don't want. To develop inner power, focus intently on one thing. Being scattered in a myriad of directions dilutes your strength. Devote your attention to your family, community, career, relationships, hobbies, or anything that you're passionate about. Diminish activities that aren't essential to your goals. And it will be just a matter of time before miracles begin to occur. I mean, I could have just pulled this one card and the whole message would have been the same. Where we place our focus and our attention on is what we experience. When we keep focusing on what's not working or what's going wrong, we're perpetuating that energy. So it's really important to choose wisely this time around, because I cannot tell you how fast, how almost instantaneously manifestation, I don't even like to use the word anymore, it's been so butchered, co-creation is happening. Manifestation in action. I think that was a message from like a couple weeks ago, is faster and faster, because we're in new energy, we're in new frequencies, and it is time for change, and it's time for balance and for justice. Hi, Martin. I know we're done, but yes, that is a beautiful, beautiful message for the equinox. Thank you guys all for joining me and participating, and for giving all of your beautiful energy and love. Sending you all so much love, and happy equinox. Happy birthday, Libras out there. I can't wait to see where we're all moving towards, where we're going. Put your focus and your energy and your intention in the direction that you would like to flow. And watch things really open up for you. But use discernment for sure. There's always trickster energies. There's always tests and things. So we'll get through that too. Have a sense of humor. That helps a lot. So, yes. Thank you all for being there, being here. Sending you so much love. Take care. Bye.